Check, check, check. Whoa. Alright. Alright. Okay. Okay. Dow Jones. We got relative equal highs at the all-time highs. Coming back down after a weekly gap down. We've tapped into the weekly inefficiency. No clear market structure shifts. Just came down and swept into this old high. We got like smooth relative equal highs all on the highs here. Nice sweep, relative equal lows there. Hmm. Yeah, that's basically it. Nice little inefficiency there. I like this one. This is clean. 15-minute. I feel like I'm not even gonna label these anymore. They're just a fair value gap. Still displacing on the higher time frame. Still displacing on the weekly. Daily, we got a nice displacement here. Swept the relative equal lows. Has some SMT there. There's just a pure gap here. So I'm going to note that that's there. Yeah. Sweep of relative equal highs, but they've already been swept there. And we've got relative equal lows here now. Alright. Got some relative equal highs here. Same thing. Still shifting on the monthly. Clearly bullish. Weekly, daily. Nice inefficiency here on the daily. Daily. Very clean relative equal lows here. Support, resistance, liquidity there. So just these lows are gonna probably be taken out. And then we've got SMT there. You can delete all this now. Yeah, on the weekly, nothing. Okay. Is there anything on the downside? Nope. just an overlapping one here. For some reason there's a gap here. Don't know why that's there. Alright. Yep, those are the levels. These lows are going to be really nice. Yeah, could be a nice short. You can delete this now. Nice. Alright, Russell on the monthly is displacing. Weekly. Just so many drawings on here. It's kind of irritating. Still a big soup level there. Weekly inefficiency there. Delete that. Still weekly inefficiency there. But yeah, daily. We did get a displace, or not a displacement, but yeah. Is this a daily? Daily displacement there. Smooth highs. Four-hour. We're shifting lower now. Clear shift lower there into swept out all these lows. So anything lower, I'd actually look for a long. But yeah, it could be a short-term short. And then we'll see how the ranges develop later. Relative equal lows here. Inefficiency there. This is a fair value gobble setup. Almost. Yeah, I'd actually expect it to go lower, but just because the displacement. Probably down to the originating order block. Alright, so yeah, we've had SMT at the lows. YM took out these lows down here. We held those, came to the order block, bounced, took out this high. YM also took out that high. SMT for a short, at least a short-term short. I think YM's going to get back below there. YM has smooth lows here. And then these guys have come up here and made SMT too. So maybe this is going to rotate back down. Yeah, and we do have a drawn liquidity lower. Same thing here. So this could be a short-term bounce and then maybe back down. But we do have a short setting up there. Let's look at the flows. News for the week, nothing on Monday. Orange folders Tuesday, orange folder Wednesday. Thursday is actually a nice red folder. Friday, orange folder. So Thursday could be like the highest probability day. Um, highest size. Flows from SPY and Tide were clearly bearish into the end of the day with price rising. Dow Jones was bullish, but we know that that one's not as serious. Russell was very bearish. Q's was very bearish. Yep, it all makes sense for continuation lower. But let's look at like the last 3 days. Last 3 days, very bearish. For the size of move we got. So yeah, I think that confirms that we probably do have a nice move lower. Now we look at weekend Wall Street. What the heck? Website's down. Cool. No movement really. Yeah, nothing really on the weekend. So there might actually be a short here today. Let's look at the regular stock index charts. Qs with some really nice relative equal lows. Similar thing has happened. Really smooth highs on Russell. Relative equal lows on SPY. So that'd be like the draw on liquidity if this is a reversal. They're on both SPY and Qs. Now I want to look at Dow some more. What's the higher time frame draw? Maybe all the way back down here. That's kind of a big move though. And we do have those smooth lows that would come back into that weekly. And we never swept these highs. So big 3.5% move. Yeah, the CE of this fair value gap might be the next area. Yeah, this might also be the next area too. Just come back below this low. Old monthly inefficiency. So yeah, we'll see. It just makes sense because it's, manufacturer liquidity at the high. So bull flagging. Maybe we sweep these highs, fail, but we'll see. Yeah, very clear SMT there. And a nice pull of liquidity swept. And why I'm flows are so bearish. It's crazy. I think YM at least wants this low, if not the relative equal lows. So and it took out lunch. Interesting. Yeah. I think this is gonna go lower. There might be a long into this, but I think it's bearish. We got a nice SMT with NASDAQ. So yeah, use the SMTs on NASDAQ and ES for small time frame shorts. And I think ES could come up here and we'd get another short. Because we had shorts on both this high and this high, where ES made SMT and NASDAQ also made SMT. And both shorts worked. So it's just keeping tabs on where the Dow is. Dow had a nice rejection, I think could easily offer more downside. And NASDAQ can still come and take this high, or ES could, whatever. Yeah, that's basically it. Let me fill out my thing. Goals this week is just weekly to-do list. I got some errands, but yeah, just hit the reps. Sunday, this plan. Um, Study and um, YM. Let's look at the regular trading hours. Actually, that's irrelevant on Sunday. This is good enough to just look at. Yeah, not much. There's a gap here, but whatever, just look quickly. Yeah, nice big gap there. There was a gap there. There's a gap here. And there's a gap here. And there's a gap here. So yeah, I think that one's going to be the key. But that should be a nice one. Yeah, there's just a lot. But yeah, these all line up with like key areas. Look at that. Big one there. I just honestly just don't care about the ones that have been filled immediately. So yeah. Cool. Perfect, bro. I don't like this low, but these lows are really nice. Down into that wick. Cool. Yes. Short, low hanging fruit POIs. Long POIs, relative equal lows, higher time frame, and the ES relative equal highs, and the YM levels. I'm actually bearish. Power of 3. Cool.